It's New Year's, folks. Amane and Mahiru are cozied up, watching monks ring in the new year on TV. They exchange Happy New Year wishes, and the phone buzzes. A text from Amane's dad. Looks like his parents want to drop by. He's about to share the news with Mahiru, but suddenly, she's snoozing on his shoulder. After a quick inner debate, gallant Amane decides to let her sleep in his bed, while he toughs it out on the couch. Next morning, Amane finds Mahiru still conked out. He gently touches her cheek to wake her up, and whoa, Mahiru's wide awake and shocked. But get this, she admits she was pretending to be asleep to see what Amane would do. Seriously, Mahiru? Amane warns her not to pull that trick again. Time flies and enter Amane's mom and dad, Shihoko and Shudo. The parents meet Mahiru, and they're as jolly as can be. It's a heartwarming scene as Mahiru is stunned to see how close-knit the family is. Shihoko even brought a kimono for Mahiru and wants them to go to the shrine. Amane's not thrilled. Imagine the talk if classmates spot them. But Shihoko has a mother's persuasive powers, and Amane gives in. Amane, looking sharp as a tack, has a father-to-son chat with Shudo. He is asking if he's happy since moving here. Amane thinks back to his less-than-stellar middle school days. And, yup, he's happy. And then Mahiru appears in a kimono that takes Amane's breath away, literally. He's blushing like a tomato. As Shudo and Shihoko prep the car, Amane and Mahiru compliment each other's fresh looks, both of them blushing like they've just run a marathon. Arriving at the temple, Amane and Mahiru are drawing all the eyes. After a solemn prayer, they wait for Amane's parents to check out their fortunes. Amane asks what Mahiru prayed for, and her answer is so Mahiru: health, safety, and more peaceful days. Ah, so simple yet so profound. Now, for some red bean soup and sweet sake action, Amane and Mahiru share their treats. Wait a second, did they just have an indirect kiss? Yep. Amane fumbles an apology, comparing their sip swap to how he does it with his buddy, Chitose. Mahiru's a bit flustered, but rolls with it. That night, both of them are in reflective mode, thinking about their dinner with Amane's family. Then comes a mood changer, a head pat from Amane that leaves Mahiru blushing. And get this, she dashes to her apartment yelling "Baka!" as she goes. Next day, Amane and Mahiru wave goodbye to the parents, with Amane promising a summer visit. Oh, and it's clear they're hinting Mahiru should come too. At school, the gossip mill is turning. Mahiru's got a handsome boyfriend? Itsuki pieces it together and figures Amane is the guy, much to Amane's annoyance. The rumors make it back to Amane's apartment, and the two have a heart-to-heart. Amane seems uncomfortable with the boyfriend tag, especially from someone like Mahiru. But Mahiru's not having it. She rattles off a list of Amane's good qualities. Overwhelmed, Amane retreats to wash dishes, while Mahiru hides her blushing face behind a pillow. Amane's left wondering, why compliment him if it gets her so flustered? Chitose swings by Amane's place for some Valentine's Day counsel. She's plotting to give Itsuki some special chocolates. Amane, sitting in unease because of Mahiru's presence, just rolls with it. When Chitose asks Amane his chocolate preference, he says not too sweet. Chitose then pokes at Mahiru about her Valentine's plans. Mahiru's just spreading the chocolate love among her girlfriends, including Chitose, who's thrilled and gives Mahiru a big ol' hug. The next day at school, Yuta's drowning in chocolates from his admirers. Itsuki and Amane muse over Yuta's chocolate fortune and discuss Chitose's infamous Russian roulette chocolates. Itsuki wonders if Mahiru made any chocolates for Amane, but he shakes it off. Chitose delivers her spicy surprises to Amane, and Amane lends Yuta a spare bag to haul his chocolate loot home. A few days roll by, and Amane gets a taste of Chitose's fiery chocolate. Mahiru swoops in with hot cocoa to the rescue. Was it a Valentine's concoction? Mahiru's answer is a mysterious maybe. Amane, grateful, enjoys the cocoa, leaving Mahiru blushing and scurrying away. But she leaves a sweet surprise on his door. A bag of homemade orangettes and a cute thank you note. Next day at school, Yuta pops by to thank Amane for the bag, drawing surprised whispers from the classmates. Itsuki, curious about their interaction, probes Amane about his evolving lifestyle, crediting Mahiru for the positive changes. Then, the conversation takes a turn. Itsuki's future wedding plans with Chitose, and his nudge-nudge to Amane about winning Mahiru's heart. Amane's irritated, and when the talk shifts to proposing to Mahiru, he vehemently denies it. Amane returns to his apartment to find Mahiru curled up with a couch pillow. He thanks her for the delightful chocolates she crafted for him. The air is filled with heartfelt gratitude as they open up about how much they value each other's support. Mahiru reveals she's been cherishing the bear he gave her. But a small storm brews as Mahiru realizes she missed Amane's birthday. Amane points out she never told him hers either. Flustered, Mahiru vows to celebrate his next birthday, earning a thankful smile from Amane. White Day rolls around and Amane prepares a thoughtful gift for Mahiru. He even smartens up his look, leaving Mahiru stunned, murmuring how cool he looks. To break the sudden tension, he hands her his gifts, a delicate flower chain bracelet and a do-whatever-you-want ticket. Mahiru, enchanted by the bracelet, asks him to fasten it, rewarding him with a captivating smile. Days drift by, and Amane finds himself reflecting on his White Day encounter with Itsuki over fast food. Itsuki, sensing a change in Amane, calls him out on his budding feelings for Mahiru. Amane can't outright deny it, admitting in a subdued tone that there's nothing really going on between them. Back home, Amane is greeted by Mahiru, donned in what he sees as housewife attire. When Mahiru learns of Amane's fast food adventure with Itsuki, she lightly chastises him for spoiling his appetite. In a teasing response, Amane quips that Mahiru could use some extra padding herself, causing a playful uproar between them. As their banter subsides, Amane realizes Mahiru isn't wearing his bracelet. She promises to cherish it and all his gifts during her free time. And as he retreats to his room, Amane ponders, Mahiru really does seem like a housewife. Next day at school, Itsuki approaches Amane with a request to stay over following a familial dispute with his father about Chitose. Amane agrees, but stresses that he'll need to inform Mahiru of this unexpected change. Post-school, Mahiru welcomes Itsuki and prepares dinner for the makeshift family. During a late-night chat in Amane's room, Itsuki highlights Amane's kindness towards Mahiru, hinting at hidden feelings and perceptions. He mentions how the school sees Amane as an antisocial nerd, but Mahiru sees beyond. She sees the genuine respect and trust, subtly hinting she might harbor feelings for him too. Next morning, Chitose learns about Itsuki's stay and decides to spend the night at Mahiru's. Despite Amane's reservations, Mahiru accepts Chitose warmly, setting the stage for an interesting interaction. Chitose and Itsuki, observing Amane and Mahiru's interaction, ponder how they are not a couple yet, and a lunch filled with compliments and tensions unveils various perspectives about Mahiru's personality. As they savor Mahiru's cooking, Chitose's observations bring out Mahiru's lesser-known sides, creating a ripple of tension when she implies that Mahiru, with her sweet demeanor, could potentially tame Amane, a suggestion strongly refuted by Mahiru. Post-dinner, Chitose sends Amane a candid snap of Mahiru holding the teddy bear, leaving him visibly flustered. A snap of his flustered state finds its way back to Chitose through Itsuki, adding to the playful exchange. Itsuki and Chitose then leave the next day, leaving Amane and Mahiru to converse about the photograph. The conversation starts off light, but delves into the realms of embarrassment as Mahiru reflects on her childish excitement over the teddy bear. The air grows tense as Mahiru receives a mysterious text and chooses to keep its contents a secret. Amane, stumbling upon a conversation between Mahiru and her mother, learns the harsh reality of Mahiru's life. Deciding not to leave her alone in her pain, he pulls her into his apartment, offering comfort and a shoulder to lean on. Inside, Mahiru unveils the truth of her birth, a result of a mistake in a loveless marriage, and the lack of parental warmth she experienced. She believes her parents never wanted to raise her, always feeling unwanted. Amane, hearing this painful confession, wraps her in a comforting embrace, allowing her the freedom to release her pent-up tears. The conversation deepens, touching on how people perceive Mahiru versus her true self. Amane, in a rare display of vulnerability, expresses his desire to protect her and encourages her to have faith in herself. This moment of kindness and understanding brings Mahiru to tears, prompting a tender, intimate moment between them. Embarrassed but comforted, Mahiru and Amane share more of their thoughts and hopes. During a heartfelt walk, they discuss the upcoming new school term and their hopes for the future class arrangements. Mahiru, subtly hinting at her desire to be in the same class as Amane the next year. She then expresses her changing views on spring and cherry blossoms, symbols of loneliness now becoming symbols of hope, all thanks to Amane. In the school hallway, kids are all over the bulletin board, trying to spot where they've landed class-wise. Amane, doing the same, spots his name right there in Class 2A. He's pumped, and even more so when Itsuki joins in, fist-bumping as they realize they've got both Chitose and Mahiru with them. But then things get a bit weird. A quick side-eye with Yuta brings back some not-so-fun memories for Amane. Itsuki notices something's up, but Amane just shakes it off, saying, "It's nothing." Back at Amane's apartment, the two of them are just hanging. Mahiru, though, can tell something's been bugging Amane since school. She tries to distract him with a random compliment about his hair, which catches him off guard, and she even gets him to lie down with his head in her lap. They chat about school, but when Amane suggests they keep some distance to avoid school gossip, Mahiru jokingly pinches his cheeks. The chat gets heavier, and Amane, feeling cozy and safe, ends up dozing off. Waking up, he's like, "Whoa, did I just nap on your lap?" Mahiru teases him, reminding him it's okay to rely on friends. Next day, Amane's on a roll at the arcade, scoring plushies left and right. Feeling all proud, he gets home and shows off his loot to Mahiru. She instantly falls for a cute bunny plushie, and the two have a lighthearted moment. Wanting to give back for the bunny, Mahiru promises to make Amane the best darn pudding he's ever had. Mahiru's in her kitchen zone, putting together a killer pudding. When she serves it up, Amane can't help but rave about how awesome it tastes. But they end up having a playful argument about him always saying her cooking is good. Mahiru tries to clean up, but Amane's like, "Nah, I got this." The small tiff ends with a flustered Mahiru hiding her face in a pillow, leaving Amane a bit clueless, but finding the whole thing pretty darn cute. At school, Yuta unexpectedly asks Amane and Itsuki to have lunch together. Amane is a bit puzzled, trying to understand why Yuta, who's quite popular, would want to hang out with someone like him. Despite his doubts, Yuta's intent seems genuine. He just wants to be friends with Amane. Itsuki jokes about the unusual pairing. From a distance, Mahiru watches the trio with Chitose, feeling a hint of jealousy. The setting shifts to Amane's apartment, where Mahiru is visibly upset, hugging a cushion tight on the couch. Amane tries figuring out the reason behind her mood. Mahiru finally opens up, admitting that she's a little envious. She sees Amane hanging out freely with friends like Itsuki, Yuta, and Chitose at school, while she feels like she's on the outside. Amane, not seeing himself in a special light, feels it's no big deal and calls himself pretty ordinary. But Mahiru wishes he'd recognize his own value. In the middle of their heartfelt conversation, they strike a playful deal. Mahiru will act like a fresh acquaintance when they're at school, trying to bridge the gap between them. The next day at school, it's cooking class time. Amane teams up with Mahiru, Chitose, and Itsuki. They're busy preparing a mouth-watering miso soup, complete with chopped green onions and scrambled eggs. However, a mishap occurs. A careless student almost spills hot soup, which would have landed on Mahiru. But quick-thinking Amane jumps to the rescue, saving her from potential harm. He doesn't let it slide and makes the student apologize. Though Amane tries to downplay his heroic move, inside, Mahiru's heart swells with gratitude. That evening, in Amane's apartment, Mahiru can't shake off the day's events. She pouts, thinking about the close call in class and Amane's casual bravery. Amane attempts to lighten the mood with some head pats, but she's not having it. They sit down for another chat. Mahiru talks about how she wants to get closer to Amane at school without making things awkward. Amane nods, understanding her perspective. It's clear they both care a lot about each other, even if they're still working things out. As we close this chapter, their shared journey is just beginning, full of promise, laughter, and unexpected twists. Stay tuned, dear viewers, as their story continues to unfold.